We in the state of California basically have every impact from climate change. There's such a huge intersection between climate and insurance.
No one is escaping the impacts of climate change, both physical impacts, but also the financial impacts. And so the opportunity is now for insurance and insurance approaches.
It's no surprise that our climate crisis is exacerbating inequality in our society. As we anticipate a future with more destructive wildfires, flooding, and heat waves, it's our seniors, our youth, our agriculture, and warehouse workers who will be hurt the most.
The report that's being issued is so important for focusing on the growing threats from climate change. It has a number of themes. One of them is closing the protection gap. That's the gap between the insured and the uninsured. We know that when people have insurance, they have better outcomes in the wake of an extreme event. And of course, with climate change, we're going to have more extreme events. So making sure that we have as many people with insurance as possible is an important goal.
Investing in nature and nature-based solutions is one way to reduce harm that can be caused by climate change-driven impacts. And in some examples, like wetlands, for example, can buffer floodwaters and reduce flooding, and dunes can absorb storm surges. Green spaces in cities can reduce urban heat islands. There are some communities that do prescribed burn programs and other kind of proactive forest management to better protect communities around forests against long-term threats and high-severity wildfires.
We need to reimagine our approach to insurance, and now we have a first-of-its-kind group making recommendations for climate insurance. Climate insurance is about protecting people, reducing the risk before a disaster strikes, and then providing the immediate assistance so that they can be more resilient after a wildfire, a heat wave, or a flood.
Our working group took a holistic look at the threats California faces from wildfires, flooding, and heat to think about how insurance, coupled with improved risk communication and investments in risk reduction, could be a powerful tool to protect our communities in the coming years. We've put together a set of recommendations, some specific to each peril, some cross-cutting, that we think can help make California a leader in tapping the potential of risk transfer for better adaptation to escalating disaster risk.
The best long-term plan on resilience is to reduce emissions, but we are already going to feel climate impacts in the coming years, and building resilience through better risk communication and insurance concepts is a way to increase protection for communities and prevent us from backsliding on our climate goals.
It is about ensuring that to the greatest extent possible we can mitigate the cost of disaster relief, because we know that as time goes on and as the effects of climate change worsen, we are doing the most we can to prepare for those costs and ensure that we have the greatest level of safety amongst our public as possible.